Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at trading setups for the week ahead. I have no positions myself, or at least no trades open right now on my main Forex accounts. So I am looking for some setups myself here. So hopefully we can find something together. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Let's jump into some charts. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and just show you guys a little bit of a recap of last week before we jump into some ideas right now. The S&P 500 last week, it was a bit of a mixed reaction, though not a great one, because price came up to this area here, which was a big area of rejection, and we saw that price action reject the 3,900 range, which was of course not what you want to see if you are a risk on trader right now. If you're betting on things like AUD, we saw a little bit of pain there. GBP also, we saw the euro pairs down pretty bad this past week. So if we get a rally, if we can get some sort of breakout, then perhaps some of those currency pairs will also see some relief. And if we start to see that this week, that would actually be an excellent scenario, in my opinion, to look for possibilities of long. But we really need to see a break past. If you're watching this, the S&P 500, we need to see a break beyond that point, in my personal opinion. Next up is EURUSD. So euro dollar. So I am bearish on euro dollar. In fact, I took some trades recently and made some money on euro dollar. You guys might have seen that live trade video on the channel. I posted it up the other day. And I'm actually looking for an opportunity to potentially rejoin my short idea. So I was short EURUSD from right around here all the way to about here, where I got stopped out. Of course, I missed some of the end of the week movement there, but it's okay. I still have the opportunity to potentially re-enter the trade and make some more money on this one. So where would I look for a possibility to get short again? Well, possibly looking for a nice rebound to this zone here, this zone here. So somewhere in this neck of the woods could be actually an interesting point to look for some short side, in my personal opinion. So if we get that this week, there may be that chance. So let's actually draw a fibs, and you can see we get the Fibonacci retracement also lining up pretty nicely with this zone here, the 38.2 to the 50%. This whole area to me would look like a nice sell. If we get a continued rally on the Euro USD side, from a swing trader's perspective, that would definitely be something I could potentially see looking to trade. Now, you might say, well, Nick, it rejected very strongly off of the lows, and that is true. But remember, we have to take this for what it is. In the higher time frames, look, the Euro USD has been trending really far down. It's been very, very strong to the downside as people have favored the US in an incredibly hawkish Fed environment. And I expect that to likely continue until further notice. And so I'm looking on those lower time frame views for signs of continuation. Another scenario that we could look at for is if I'm short biased on the euro dollar. If I'm short biased, then what I could also look for is the break beneath. So if we see a break underneath, that would show us fresh supply has entered the market to a degree where we can actually see ourselves getting underneath that previous level of support. In that case, I could potentially look for a short on a retest with continuation ideas in mind. If you know my style of trading, you know I like to trail stops, and you know I like to let winners run as much as possible. So in this case, let's say we did get a trade scenario like this. If price came underneath and retested, what I would do personally is I would short this thing with a stop loss within reason and then let this thing run. So like if it kept going, I wouldn't actually take profit. I would just trail my stop loss behind market structure. That's like bread and butter for me when it comes to trading Forex. That's just how I personally like to approach it. Now, I want to show you guys some stuff. We have a lot of news coming up in the next few days, and one of the big ones is, of course, the U.S. We have NFP this Friday, so things should be heating up pretty interestingly. Let's take a look. So this was last Friday. We had U.S. oil was up. We had a lot of the yen pairs down. Interesting stuff there. And then, of course, I want to show you guys the score chart summary, just to see where the market scanner is leading us here. And what I wanted to show you specifically, and this draws my attention a lot right now, is these strong sells. And then also, of course, euro dollar, which we just looked at, which has a sell rating on the Edge Finder right now. The Edge Finder is our market scanner, and we use it to scan for trading opportunities with lots of confluence. This is like a big confluence scanner, basically. But anyways, we also have things like pound CAD, we have EURCAD, Aussie dollar, and pound dollar. Those are all like strong sell ratings right now. And so for me, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, well, that's where I'm going to be looking in my playground the most. I do also like euro dollar short, but we have to see the technical setup kind of agree with that. So, what is this based on? Well, you can pause the video if you'd like. You've got all of our metrics here across the screen. We have interest rate, divergence, we have unemployment rate, inflation numbers, GDP growth, trend, seasonality, retail sentiment, and COT data, otherwise known as institutional positioning. So we have all of that information at our fingertips with this software. And so when we take a look at something like EURUSD, which gets a sell in almost all those categories, conversely, we could take a look at something like CAD yen, which maybe we could take a look at this as our next pair, as it is one that I am personally interested in. CAD yen to the long side. Why is it to the long side? Well, the commitment of traders data tells us it's a +1. The retail sentiment, actually, you know what? This will make more sense if I go ahead and pull it up. So we'll give that a second and we'll go look at the chart for CAD yen here, CADJPY. So looking for buys this week on CAD yen, we had a nice little rejection off of this little level here. So we had that kind of come into play. And so maybe there's an opportunity to look for more intraday ideas. So now let's say we've got that rejection off of the, look at that beautiful candle, by the way, big, nice buying movement there at the 104.40. So maybe if I'm looking at this week, I'm saying, okay, well, maybe breaks and retests here on the intraday charts could look good for an entry, with stops probably for me as a swing trader. If I'm looking at this, I would say, you know, stops somewhere below that previous low. I know that seems like a lot. That is what, 90 pips, which for a lot of people, they say, Nick, that's way too many pips. But if you're a swing trader, 90 pips is, especially on CAD yen, which moves, pips are just relevant, right? It's all proportionals or proportionally relevant, because you may trading Euro USD where 90 pips is a lot more, but on CAD yen, 90 pips is, you know, not crazy, because each of these things moves a different amount per day. Anyways, let's take a look at the edge finder. So I kind of shot off a bunch of explanations quickly, but let me show you guys a little bit more of a granular look at the CAD yen. And this is one of the strongest buys on the scanner, and I agree with it, and I'm looking for setups myself. So let's go through this. Okay, so CAD yen gets a score of 5. That just means that in all these categories, the summation of them is a 5, which we rank as a buy. COT data tells us that the institutional positionings are strong to the bullish side. So if we take a look at the COT data down here, what that's telling us is that when we look at institutional positions, and this is what we've programmed for, the CAD has 52.5% long placements and 47% short placements. Conversely, the JPY has 27.5% long and 72.5% short. That tells us that in terms of institutional positioning, they're more likely to be selling. Big players are selling the yen, they're buying the CAD. And so when we put that into perspective, we say, okay, well, that tells us that the big players, the smart money is out there buying this thing on average. Maybe it's time to look for opportunities to buy it ourselves. Then we take a look at another category of sentiment, which is the retail crowd. The retail crowd, another piece of data that we pulled in with our software, 86% is short. If we know that the crowd is all betting against this thing and the big money is all betting on this thing, I'm going to be betting more likely against the crowd and with the smarter positionings. Okay? So that gives us a +1 and a +1. Then we also have seasonality. Check this out. This little window down here is really cool. I love seasonality studies, very interesting to me. What this does is it takes historical data and it says, well, this data is telling us that in the month of July, it tends to be a positive month, etc. And you can see, for example, December, very positive month for this pair, historically speaking, using data. It doesn't mean that, you know, it's going to do it exactly the same way this month or next month or whatever, but it gives us an idea. Anyways, that is sort of a summation view, and then you have the economic data comparisons. We've done full videos on this. If you guys would like more information, what I'll do is I'll pin a comment down below if you want to chat with one of my team members. They'll explain any questions you have about the software and how you can get it, or if you would like it, it's down below in the description. Right now, what you can do is if you use the link in the description, you'll get 40% off the Edge Finder. If this is a tool that you want, if you're serious about your trading and you want this data in your hands, again, we've worked very, very hard to get this tool to where it is. So get yourself a copy. The link is down below in the description. And this has kind of been our, project as a team here. We've really converted into like a software sort of team here at A1 Trading, which has been really cool. We've been building a lot of tools. Like, for example, another thing we built with this is the smart money tracker. This thing, this has been really cool. So Frank has actually taken the lead on this big time. Frank is one of our analysts and traders as well, and he's had a lot of influence on building this thing. So for example, like we're talking about the CAD right now, which the CAD falls under the risk on section. So let's see if we can find CAD. Actually, where is CAD? CAD, where'd you go? I don't know if CAD made it on the list right now. NZD, we have all these ones. Maybe CAD hasn't been added yet. We're still finishing this up. But what I do want to show you guys is that this thing, essentially what it does is it shows you all the different assets that we have in our system in terms of commitment of traders data, and it tells us a summation of what big players are doing with it. And that to me is like the coolest thing in the world. So you can see like the euro is pretty mixed, but then you look at gold. Gold is 72% roughly long positions on the futures market from big players. That's important information because you know that, okay, the minority of them are in the short. Big players are mostly piling in longs. Could be a nice signal to potentially join that buying train, if that makes sense. So anyways, yeah, you can get access to this tool down below in the description if you would like access. Again, take advantage of the promo codes down below. You get 40% off if you use that today. That will be ending soon. All right, so let's take a look at some more stuff here. Let's see what else we have. So I do like CAD yen long, buys, breaks, retests, that sort of thing. Could be a nice opportunity going into the week ahead. Let's take a look at some of those other ones that we were talking about. GU, which gets a short bias. Ooh, look at this, you guys. GU might be giving the sellers another chance here, in my personal opinion. As things get up into this area, that could be, what is that, a 61.8? It's probably between a 50% and a 61.8. Nope, it actually is just a 61.8. So we had the 61.8 come into play, just barely missed it here on Friday. You can see price came just shy of that. If you're looking at this thing on a 1 hour chart, the trend is down, right? We have a nice downward trend, lots of momentum. Price is pulling back into this area. To me, this would be a half decent opportunity to potentially look for some shorting side action on GU with ideas of returns back to the lows and perhaps even beyond. So if you were looking at this thing and you caught this correctly, of course, we could be wrong. We always can be wrong. Doesn't matter what system or strategy you use, your system can be wrong because the markets can do unexpected things and change ideas completely on a dime. So we always put a stop loss. That's why, right? Assuming we can probably all agree that the markets will do random sudden things sometimes and totally ruin the trade. For example, let's say you're a technical trader and you set this up and put yourself in, I don't know, 2017, 2016, 2018, whenever Donald Trump was president. And he's president and you set up this trade and everything's good. And then all of a sudden, right, a tweet comes out that shoots this thing way up. You would have had no possible knowledge that that was going to happen. And this is what we, in my opinion, this is what you would just call sort of a level of randomness that exists in the markets that is unavoidable. I don't think it's all random, but there is, of course, some level of randomness where you can't possibly see that coming. That's why we always put a stop, because that unexpected could just be right around the corner and there's no forward knowledge for you to do that. Now, to be fair, I've had times where something like that happens, but it's in my favor. And to me, over time, it tends to balance out. Sometimes you get some crazy moves up, sometimes you get some crazy moves down, just randomly. But if you're stopping out, if you're taking your loss quickly, it can really save you some serious pain. It's like an insurance policy. Anyways, back on track. I like GU short. Again, this one came up on the Edge Finder as a strong sell on our score chart summary. Again, it was like the bottom of the list, GU. Also, AU came up as well. So I like this one. I really, really like AU and GU short. Let's look at AUDUSD. How's this one looking? Hasn't quite given us so much of a pullback. But if everything goes to crap with our GU trade and the dollar just gets really, really weak and we see, you know, AU and GU get a bid to the upside, then perhaps we could take a second stab at AU this week on a retest of this area. I do like that for possible short continuation plays on AUDUSD. Very, very cool stuff. So maybe an opportunity to look to short up around the 68.70s. I'll keep tabs on this one, but for now, this is like a back burner. I like GU first, and actually also really like EU before the other two. So EU on the top of the list, I don't really like the way EU sounds. Let's say Eurodollar. That sounds a lot better. EU. Let's take a look at the next one here and we'll see what else we've got on the list. We got EuroCAD, PoundCAD. EuroCAD sounds interesting to me. Let's see what EuroCAD is up to. I was trading this, guys. You might remember this if you've been watching the channel. I know a lot of you guys. Hey, can you guys do me a favor? If you are a regular, like we're 15 minutes in, I know you guys are doing your analysis. You've been doing this with me for a while. If you're one of the people that's been doing this with me for a while, like you show up to the weekly charts, you hang out with, or the weekly analysis, you've been watching the channel for a long time. Let me know how long you guys been watching the channel. I'll check it out in the comment section. I'll heart your comment. But let me know, how long have you been watching my channel? I'm just purely curious. I know there's a lot of you guys that are on the same hustle as me, just trying to continuously improve the trading. And just sort of enjoying the process. Anyways, look at what EuroCAD did. This is so beautiful. Price held this area here and then broke. Retested, broke down. Retested, broke down. Any retest of that area, I'm just going to treat as it is. It's resistance until further notice, until proven otherwise, right? Sometimes people say, well, it's going to, it's bounced twice. It's on the third time. It's going to break out. And maybe it does, but again, I've seen many times where a market just sort of enters into consolidation for a long time. You catch a lot of great trades, and then eventually it even breaks out. So there is just an argument for consolidation and taking things at the sell zones where they are sitting. So I like that. EuroCAD possibly on a retest, looking for that chance this week if we do get a bit of euro bids going on. Could be interesting. Let's take a look at gold. XAUUSD is next up, and gold got a little bit of a rally towards the end of last week. Very interesting to see. We had a little bit of strength come in, but again, we need a lot more. If you've been watching my videos recently on gold, we need more gold strength. We need something to come in to really shake the pot a little bit, get things started for the bulls, because right now we're not getting it. Right now what we're getting is lower lows and lower highs. And what I really don't, what us gold bulls, and I'm not buying gold right now. I'm saying this because I'm saying, this is what we need to see in order to start buying gold. I like gold on the long side, but I need to see the breaks. I need to see the change in pace. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see this. If that happens, it's like, oh, well, ignore it. But if it starts breaking out, right, this is a seller. You got to be very careful of this sort of rally. It's very easy to get suckered into something like this and then just get, dumped on. But what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for a chance to break and retest, break, retest. If we start to see the change in this direction, like strength followed by backing it up with nice dip buys, I'm going to be looking at gold closely. I would like to see, for me personally, looking at gold, I mentioned this in my video last week, I want to see it start breaking these structure points here. So if we were to see this rally this week, I'm not going to be, could be fool's gold, right? We don't want the fool's gold. We want the real gold. So to me, breaking, retesting, if you're very aggressive, maybe you're looking at something like this. But again, we just need to see some of these previous structure points be closed above. We need strength above those areas, and then retest buys could make sense for looking for long side continuation. But we need that, show of strength. We need a higher high, we need a higher low, right? We just need those very simple technical formations that are going to tell us, okay, well, at least the sellers aren't just dominating this market right now. They still could be. This thing could get taken out on the open and just continue to trail lower. And in that case, there's just no trade setup. So for me, if you're bearish, then that may be what you're looking like. Maybe you're saying, I am bearish on gold and I'm taking that 61.8 and I'm saying I'm selling here. And I would say, hey, you know what? Based on the technical chart, that's not the worst, thought process in my opinion either, because you're coming into a level of resistance. This thing has been selling all the rips, and it sounds logical that gold could continue down. So for me, it's like no trade here, nothing for me to do, because I do like gold on the long side. I think that with recession worries on the higher time frames, I think I will be looking for that opportunity to try and catch a gold swing to the upside, but we're not seeing it right now. And so in the short term, it does just look bearish. It looks like this sort of rally, yet you can't trust it, right? It looks like it just could fade back down to the lows. But if and only if we get the unexpected break the other direction, that's where I'll start actually paying attention to gold. So there you go. That's my thought process on gold. Another popular currency pair we'll take a look at is USDJPY. Dollar yen coming down hard here towards the end of last week. This is an hourly chart. And if we look at this thing from the daily chart, my concern with dollar yen is like the simplest smooth brain thought process ever. It's gone up for a long time, so probably needs to come down for a while. And I don't. The thing is, I don't like to try and call tops or call bottoms, so I wouldn't short this. I would not personally be short dollar yen. The yen, to me, is in a lot of trouble, right? We've seen the central bank of Japan just kind of like really struggling with this massive exchange rate change. They don't want the yen to be this weak, yet the market is just finding that and just finding that weakness and just exploiting it. They're just pushing the dollar against the yen up, 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 up. And so to me, the path of least resistance has to be on the long side. If I was to take any trades on this thing, it would be a buy. It would not be a short. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm a momentum trader. I'm looking for those opportunities where things just trend for a super long time. So dips into this area, I do think that the dollar yen is due for a bigger pullback, but I'm not going to try and time it. What I will do is if I was to be long, I would just keep the stops tight, right? There's no shame in, as long as you manage that risk. Yes, we're buying in an area where the market has trended very long to the upside, but it doesn't mean it can't trend much, much longer. It could go 3 more months like this. So as we come into this area, a buy trade to me makes sense because you've got historical levels of support. You've got a pretty clearly defined area where you could put your stop beneath to try and avoid taking any unnecessary, extra risk. So to me, I don't hate dollar yen long. I do believe that this one is also one of the higher ranked buys. Yep, dollar yen right there up at the top. And we have to take a look at euro yen just in reference to that. I made some money on euro yen last week. Made a couple $100, I think. And we'll see if we can catch anything else on any of these yen crosses. Euro yen, I liked it for a short-term bounce to the upside. It has sort of entered into consolidation, but just generally, I am still bearish on the yen until further notice. And from a higher time frame perspective, daily chart even, I still really like this zone. So if that price comes back for another retest, I wouldn't hesitate personally to consider that idea of looking to buy just for value on the overall upward trend. A dip down into that area, to me, still seems pretty reasonable. That might be more of a swing trade because in that case, you're probably talking over 100 pips stop loss. Yeah, that's 100 and 150. So 150, I mean, it's more of a swing trade, right? That could take you 2 weeks. But if it were to go in your favor, it could take a day if it was to go against you. But anyways, I do like euro yen long. So a couple recap videos or thoughts from this video. I really like CAD yen long. I really like euro USD short. And I pretty much like GU and AUD USD as well. So those are some of my setups. Again, that's what I'll be focused on most. If I take any trades, you guys will see them inside of the Discord. If you would like to join the Discord, there is a way to do so. There will be a link down below in the description if you want to see all the trades that I'm taking. I share all of them for members inside of the private Discord channel. And look at this, we just got custom emojis in there, and we got Ivan's face in there. We also have me too, which is just hilarious. So let me see, Nick afraid. I could put myself surprised. It's a little bit weird, but we're having fun with it. If you guys want to join the Discord, there's a chat room. There's all sorts of cool stuff in there. So if you'd like to join that, the link is in the description. Sign up with the VIP code there for subscribers. And there is like I said, there's a promo code down below. It will give you a huge discount on anything you want from the store. If you want membership, if you want the software tools that we have, etc., grab that information down below in the description. Thank you guys for watching and have a great week ahead.